Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all today. I'm Ben Shea from Synapbox, and I'm excited to share how we can combine generative AI with consumer emotions to create personalized experiences for everybody. And so I've come a long way and met a lot of people before meeting with you all today. And I mean that literally, throughout my life, I moved around a lot. I was born in Hong Kong, in a home, as you can see, with some really nice sofas. And then from there, I first moved to New York at around 5 years old, attending primary school in Queens. Then I moved to England for boarding school and uni, graduating with this sick hairdo that you see here. Then I moved to Shanghai for work, and where I started my first company as well. Then from here, moved around even more for work stuff. So I spent 6 months in the Middle East in Bahrain, where I was a consultant for Amex on brand innovation. In the middle of all this, my parents moved to Spain, so I tried to, visit them at least once a year. I also joined Synapbox, and we have offices in Mexico City, so I've definitely spent quite a lot of time in Mexico as well. Love the place. And then I moved to San Francisco in 2020, which is where I spent most of my COVID years. And now I'm based in Los Angeles, where I got super lucky and met my fiance. And that brings us to today, where I'm with you all here in Chicago at the Sofitel. And throughout my travels, I've been blessed, to be honest with you, having met with many different people from all walks of life. And we are all individuals, driven by our unique characteristics. And one thing I've learned from moving around so much is really how to fit in. And the trick here is that you really have to understand what that person is about and try to engage with them as honestly and emotionally as possible. But people are very complex, right? We all know this. There's no one size fits all. But to really put it simply, and I'm oversimplifying here as well, right? That there are three key factors about people and how they will respond. So we have their personal characteristics. This could be physical, their mental, their personal preferences, their beliefs. Then the second layer is really that cultural and tribal context, right? Which are mainly influenced by your friends, your family, the people around you, your colleagues, your mates, so on and so forth. And of course, we're also shaped by the latest trends, which is how we evolve as people, right? Who we are yesterday is not the same as who we will be tomorrow. So let's use an example of a Gen Zer that AI made up, In this case, this was by Midjourney specifically, and their personal characteristics, if I had to guess, right, they're probably around 24 years old, they speak 2 languages or so, and they probably love ordering food from some kind of delivery app, right? Number 2, so in the context, assuming they're based in the US, you're gonna find them online, digital natives, grew up with the internet, and they probably come from either, a second or third generation family, and really cares about things like, equality, sustainability, and mental health. And I think we all do, right, to a certain extent, but especially so when it comes to Gen Zers. And number 3, the world around them, right? We're all very much shaped by, what's going on, the environment, and this is where it's important, right, to consistently have a pulse on what's going on. So on social media, they love TikTok. They're probably on Instagram and Snap and those other, social media apps as well. They love self-improvement content, right? Things that can really make them, better. The world is bleak, so they want to improve themselves. One thing they absolutely hate is a bad meme, but who doesn't, right? And especially if a brand is presenting a bad meme, that's like the worst case you can really see. You're gonna find them in real life at events like Coachella, the Climate Action Summit, and geopolitically this year, I think some of the hot topics that are probably on our minds as well is Gaza, the US elections, and reproductive rights. And understanding all this and how people respond emotionally to what they see is what we are doing at Synapbox. And our goal is to get AI to understand all this, not just us as researchers or humans, but really trying to get the AI to understand all this and more to create a creative knowledge base trained on contextualized human emotions by collecting super clean, super structured, all automatically at scale. And this is how we do it. The first piece is we have a RAG for remote biometrical retrieval. So through the web browser, we're capturing their emotions, their attention. when they're exposed to the video we are showing them. And having biometrics is also very important, right? To really ensure that it's a real person we're testing with, and that it's not the same person repeating it twice. And then this is really cool. This is truly something special, right, that we built this year, and probably something you won't have seen before. We just built a next level video encoder that allows the AI to understand what's happening in the video, like actually understanding what the heck is going on, right? That in this case, there's Messi on a beach running through playing football. This allows us to automatically tag the different creative elements that's happening on the screen. And this is important too, because when we are using the biometrics that we collected, the emotions and the attention, to then tag it with those creative elements to really start to build these predictive models on real consumer behavior, right? And this is going to be all, again, still done automatically. Then surveys and open-ended questions and other rational data sets, so stuff you've probably seen before, using large language models to process this information, so that the AI also understands rational feedback, and we're gonna get that in the box as well. And another important part here is we're processing all this data using proprietary algorithms that we built to create these category scores and also overall scores. And again, very important, as this really ensures that the data that you're collecting super clean, and is structured into our knowledge base, so we can really use AI to retrieve this information, right? And every study we do is run using this methodology to ensure consistency and that it's machine readable. So whether it's a video ad that you're testing, or a new digital branded content that you're making, or even a piece of packaging, we do a lot of pre-testing as well. So we're talking concepts and animatics, all using this same structure. And what's different is the category scores will change really based on the objective of the study. So who cares, right? Why are we doing all this stuff? But what we can really do with this is now to really output some dynamic results, right? So through our platform, at the bottom layer, right, you can see and play with your data to really understand, the emotional cues, the attention scores. So you can play with the benchmarks, as you see here. Scrolling down, you have the different rational metrics, like that you probably have seen before in purchase intention, brand recall. Again, really depending on the objective of your study. And then the next piece is the middle layer, right? Where you get your overall score, your 3 category scores. You can really understand why and double click into performance. So understand immediately, so brand was great, message was great, and then really understand quickly, which areas are due for improvement, right? All done for you, right? So this is where the kind of research part starts, right after data collection. And at the very top of the layer, you have your summary dashboard. We have different norms, and we even launched an ethnicity norm this year to help you compare and contrast overall scores. This is a big study we'll talk about in a second, key learnings, the different category scores compared to each other, and also the biometric graph, right, and rational graph, where to really understand engagement and what they even told us ultimately. And then using, again, AI and large language models, we can generate key learnings which are available right after data collection is complete. That gives you a summary of your study in natural language, so you don't have to go and dig through the data yourself. You can really have a quick snapshot of what's going on. And everything you've seen here is completely automated, right, with insights that are fast, granular, and also actionable. And all stored in a creative database. And then what we can do from here, it gets to get really interesting, right? Ultimately, build your own brand creative knowledge base, add whatever you want to it. Whether it's your brand data, it could be your objectives, it could be your sales KPIs, right? And then you want to add even additional demographic research, right? That a lot of people in the room here have a lot of expertise in adding what's specific to your brand, and then also your personal preferences as a user of this, whether you're coming from a research function or a marketing function to get the outputs that you want, right? And ultimately add whatever you want from the internet, whatever you can find, but ultimately the latest trends, right? Again, people change. What's cool today is not what's going to be cool tomorrow, and you really need to be able to track all this, right? And then just talk to the thing, right? Give me a study summary, recommendations, bam. Get it, right? Exactly on what we talked about. Hey, I want the new design to target Gen Z. Here it is based on what the Gen Zers are doing, right? Hey, I want to summarize this to an email to the marketing team. Hey, copy and paste, get it in there, right? Send it across. Even ask it to generate prompts for you to create these new designs. Another example, why not put in your brief, right, to create a new concept video? So this will give you a couple. This is giving you a couple recommendations. Hey, option 1, option 2, option 3, and then hey, campaign. The third version looks pretty good. So hey, I want a script, and then the concepts with the prompts to help visualize each scene, right? So then it goes through each scene. It churns out a script for you. It gives you the narration, and then you can probably jump onto text-to-voice apps to actually create this. And these were the images that I pumped out, right? And this entire process that I ran took me more or less around 5 minutes to create. And I'm not saying this is perfect, right? But it just is like where we should really begin this creative journey, where if it doesn't give you what you want, at least AI will give you what you don't want, right? And I don't know about you, the amount of times I've spent staring at a blank screen trying to figure out what to do, I find that this is a kind of tool that really helps me to get my creative juices going. But all said and done, hey, let's talk about some insights. So we ran a study this year called the Latino Pulse on Super Bowl ads. 30 ads with 2,300 consumers, 50% Latino, to really understand the differences between Latinos and mainstream audiences in the US, all done within 5 days. Data collection, analysis, and all. The top 5 ads ranked by Latinos. Popeyes did super well, Reese's, Michelob Ultra. One commonality amongst these ads was that they all had a very diverse cast, so super important for that particular demographic group. And some of the key takeaways, I think when you choose your celebrities, you got to use celebrities that match both the brand and audience value. A good example here, Lionel Messi, when his face appeared, you can see a nice emotional spike from the Latino audience. But the more interesting part was Popeyes. Ken Jeong, he got an emotional spike from both the Latino and the mainstream audiences, right? And he probably cost a fraction of what it cost Messi to get on screen. And this is just a great example of how you integrate the celebrity well to generate the right emotions. Another key takeaway, keep the message simple. Really keep it simple. You can see attention score going down. People just didn't really understand. Message clarity question on the rational side, very low, way below the benchmark. And ultimately, a clear message held more attention and averaged 6 points higher in purchase intention. That's a lot of points, man. And this is literally like money in your pocket or in your brand's pocket. Another one, Poppy, great ad, best newcomer this year. US Latinos, and I guess for them in particular, they love seeing friends and family, right? Every time that a image or a little clip of a friends and family popped up, they loved it. And then of course, don't overcomplicate humor. Just keep it simple. Ultimately, if they don't know what you're talking about, you just lose them, and it's pretty much game over from there. So to create a winning ad, choose who you show wisely, keep the message short and simple, and try to generate positive emotions in all this. So, as I promised, this is what we're here today. So you want to build up your creative knowledge base of consumer emotions, and then you can start to pair it with generative AI tools that we're seeing today, which seems to be improving on a daily basis right now, in order to create these highly personalized and highly engaging content. And to be honest with you, even part of this picture was written by ChatGPT with his help, with the context of that I would be here in Chicago with you all here today. And the ultimate goal, and where we will be very soon, is to develop an automated content flywheel to engage your customers with. But all said and done, what we're gonna do here is you wanna generate your content, test it with your audience, store these vectorized learnings, and then repeat this process over and over again, right? To really refine the message, the communication how you're speaking to them. But all said and done, it's still gonna be down to the brands and organizations to take care of their data. And I can't emphasize this enough. And for everyone in this room, and contrary to popular belief, I think that you guys are gonna get a lot more busy, not less, right? In order to really have these great outputs, you really need to ensure that the insights, the data, what you put in is really taken care of. And without you guys, and I think if without you guys, brands and organizations are guaranteed to fall behind, right? If your company is not doing it, the other one will, right? And that's where it's at today. So my ask for everyone here, is that if you're ready to know what your customers really think, if you really want to know, let's run a pilot and start building your creative knowledge base. Join our clients like Anheuser-Busch, Netflix, we just signed these last week, and join this new creative revolution that we have in front of us, or get left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. Well done.